The Judicial Conduct Tribunal, tasked with probing complaints lodged by 10 judges of the Western Cape High Court and the Cape Bar Council against Judge Mushtak Parker, concluded today. Judge Parker is facing allegations of lying under oath and lying by omission over 2 complaints. The first complaint relates to Judge Parker deposing to an affidavit which stated that he was physically assaulted allegedly by then Judge President John Hlophe, who's since been impeached. We're joined now by SABC News senior reporter Canny, who's here to give us an update. Closing arguments today, how did that go down?
Well, the tribunal has reserved its outcome, and we saw that the complainants and the evidence leader gave their final submissions to the tribunal regarding Judge Parker's fitness to hold office in South Africa's judiciary. All echoed the same tune, asking the tribunal to make a finding of gross misconduct, with them making submissions that he had rendered himself unfit to hold office, emphasizing that in all probabilities that the first tale that he had given those judges, which he later retracted, in all probabilities could likely be true. That is the allegation he made regarding the former Judge President, Dr. John Hlophe, who has since been impeached. And we know that is one of the many incidents in the Western Cape High Court division that caused much strain for many years in that particular division. A lot of those judges felt that they were either misled or that there had been a lie that had taken place. Remember, judges are individuals which must be of an honorable character. They must be of great standing. To be accused of being dishonest not only affects one as a judicial officer, but it affects the credibility of the judiciary. Remember, the rule of law is upheld by these judicial officers that operate within this judiciary. If you have members of the public going into a court and coming across a judge adjudicating their matter, and that judge has been found to be dishonest, that not only affects the rule of law, but the public trust in, or confidence rather, in South Africa's judiciary. So of course it's a very serious allegation being made. If the tribunal makes a very serious finding of gross misconduct, which is the most serious finding that a tribunal can give in its report to the JSC, and if the JSC chooses to uphold that as a sanction, then of course you're dealing with the realm of impeachment, which means that Judge Parker's judicial career could be over regarding this issue.
What does this mean for the judicial accountability in South Africa? This is huge.
Yeah, this is huge. I mean, this is a case, as I've stated, that is dealing with dishonesty. Of course, this is not the first case where we'll be dealing with the realm of impeachment. We've already seen 2 judicial officers go through that process. It's important for the members of the public and the judiciary as well to see judicial officers where they may misbehave, to be held accountable for that, and to ensure that the judiciary has judicial officers that uphold the credibility as well as the rule of law in society. So we'll be waiting quite closely, or watching quite closely, the tribunal as it ventilates this issue, because essentially I think the facts have been established. You had 8 judges come out and say that they had the same events narrated to them by Judge Parker. You also have 1 judge who actually assisted him in deposing to the first affidavit that made the allegation in the first place. So I think that evidence is quite clear. We don't see any disputes from Judge Parker, which you really can't, because, I mean, you had confided in your fellow colleagues. Now it is up to the tribunal to come to the conclusion of whether this conduct is so serious that it warrants a gross misconduct finding, or whether it is misconduct. Of course, if it's misconduct, that's a lesser sanction. You don't lose your judicial title over that. But if you're looking at gross misconduct and that gets referred, or the JC makes that final sanction that gets referred to Parliament, then of course you're stripped of all those, the title and the benefits that come with being a judge.
Thank you very much, Canny Maphanga, SABC News senior reporter.